Okay. Well, let me call this meeting to order. We're here to get an update from the Pottsville 7 and demand some answers on why there's no women on the. Came up also. Okay, so we're here for an update.
Very
We're
first
always
thing
late.
we should do
What are you
is
doing,
introduce Jed here, from the Forest Service.
Hey.
So could you tell a little bit about yourself?
Yes, hi, my name is Jed Friedman. I work for the U.S. Forest Service. I just started down at the Coeur d'Alene River Ranger District office in Fernand. Was up here temporarily as a substitute in January, and that became officially not the substitute, but officially in the position about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's nice to be here permanently. And so, yeah, my job in the Forest Service is, I manage all things recreation for the Coeur d'Alene River Ranger District. So that's, well, basically from the, south side of Lake Ponderay south to the, St. Joe Coeur d'Alene divide. So south of town here. And that also includes Shoshone Park, formerly Pottsville Park. I also just, if you want my little Forest Service update for the group, I can do that now.
Sure.
I can do that later. So I just handed over to Jim the draft Forest Service, what do we call it? The Historic Preservation Assessment. So this is the big report that Historic Preservation crew from Missoula came over last August. And this is the written document that they produced. It's the draft. The wrong people keep getting sick or their kids get sick. And anyways, they have to get some signatures and a couple other fine-tuned bits to make that official. But once we get the official version of that with signatures, then you guys, the group, can use that for whatever you need it for, whether that's going to SHPO down in Boise, or whether that's putting in grants. But yeah, that document will be just as much yours as mine once it is formal. But anyways, it's the writing shouldn't change, so feel free to pass that around.
Can we get a digital copy?
Absolutely, I can email it. But yeah, it's basically a blueprint of, in the minds of the preservation crew at Missoula, of how to put Shoshone Park back together from a historic preservation standpoint. The other good news that I've got is the Coeur d'Alene River Ranger District has hired a new heritage archaeologist, but a heritage specialist, and she starts on Monday. So I imagine it's going to take her a little while to get online. I mean, I've been here since January, and I still don't know anything. But I do hope to bring her to you guys shortly. I've been forwarding all emails, correspondence, and all of your literature to her. She's coming from the Bureau of Land Management in northeastern Nevada. So we're stealing her from another agency, but I've been forwarding her all sorts of good stuff to bring her up to speed, at least on this project.
She's an archaeologist?
Yes.
And what's her name?
Stand by. Angela something, but I'll
Okay.
work it up for you when it's not my turn to talk.
Okay.
Let's see here. In terms of Shoshone Park as it functions today, we'll be having trash collection begin up right before Memorial Day. The water system, I wanted to tell you that we would have it up and online on Memorial Day, but a couple of our other water systems, Avery Creek Cabin, not to name names, is being troublesome this spring. And I'm pretty sure I'm putting a plumber's kit through college right now with that system. So anyways, once I've got a couple other water systems well on their way to being potable, then I'll be quickly getting Shoshone Park up. So at this point, it's probably not going to be until a little bit after Memorial Day. Our first reservation to use it as a group venue isn't until quite a bit after Memorial Day. So that's kind of my backstop of, I need to have the water system on by then. That's all I've got.
By having it on, does that mean you can test the water and?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, when we turn it on to the public, it is potable. Been tested multiple times. Things that would make you sick.
Okay, anything else?
I've just got a couple housekeeping things to talk to you guys with about, after the meeting, so that's all I got.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions.
Well, we have, the list that I had sent, the email. And, basically, we have 9 things listed, and then there's a reminder of what our priorities were last year, and then a list of activities for phase 2. Now, all these activities came from the Forest Service on that, deferred maintenance list that we originally had. And I think we have 5 phases for the park. And so we're at phase 2. This is our second season of being able to do something. But the first thing is the spring cleanup, and you've already addressed the test of the water system and that sort of thing. There's a number of items on there, and I'm wondering, is Forest Service, are you going to be trying to do those things that are listed? Pressure wash and repaint the restrooms, bleach and wash and stain all facilities and equipment, mow, weed eat.
So I believe at our last meeting, over in Mullen, we talked about, the group taking over the mowing and weed eating. The riding lawnmower is currently in the garage. We just moved it up last week before last. The gasoline for said mower is up there. I think we have 50-gallon drum with a hand pump.
Okay.
Um,
Now, do we have access? It must be locked up. So we've got a key
combination.
combination. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. That's the.
Yes, and I believe that the plan was also to stage a line trimmer up there with, a jerry can of fuel, so that everything's taken care of. It's all right there.
Okay, who's gonna do that?
Who's gonna do
Do
the,
what?
Mowing and the line and the trimming and.
I'll do stuff.
well, last
I'll go up and
year,
do stuff.
it was, partly the Forest Service did some and partly our volunteers did some. So, yeah. If the Forest Service is gonna back out of that, then we're just gonna have to do more of it.
I think that where we left it last meeting, and correct me if I'm remembering this wrong, is that you guys wanted to take over that, and we were more than happy to empower you by, you know, making all of the tools
and equipment.
equipment available.
I think these are the type of things we're gonna have to take back again internally outside of this meeting and talk about the volunteerism, how to go about it, make sure it's on the list, that type of thing.
Okay, so, but we're
Yeah.
responsible. The
Yeah.
Pottsville 7 is gonna be responsible for that.
In terms of the rest of the list, yes, it is on our radar. It's kind of as we have capacity and time, you know, when I see that list, I see that's from now through when the snow flies. So I've got from now till October, November to knock out
Some of these things.
those things. So yeah, it's definitely not a preseason list. That is as we get to it.
Okay, through the season then. Okay, which you like pumping out the toilets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's an as needed type
Yeah.
thing.
Any questions anybody has about that? maintenance?
Last year, you guys stained the tables, right? Forest Service provided stain. So when we go up there and walk around, if they need it, we can arrange to get stain from him.
I've still got stain.
Do you really?
And I have.
If we need more, they've got it. The water, though, you know, we're gonna have to have the water on to power wash the tables and the benches and all that before we do any staining, so it's gonna depend on when we get the water on.
Yeah.
And Mullen would provide a truck if we need to install a water truck.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we go to number 2, the West Kitchen reconstruction. Now that's based on this thing. Is there, I haven't read this obviously yet, but looking at this, is that something, I mean, is there some demolition that can be done, or do we have to wait for that archaeologist, to guide us in this process?
So I'm not a heritage or a restoration or a preservationist by trade, or education, so I'm gonna muddle through this a little bit. But when we're dealing with a historic structure, the things that we get, well, this crew, or the Forest Service preservation crew, they have an MOU, a memorandum of understanding with the Idaho State Historic Preservation Office, SHPO. And that the State Historic Preservation Office has basically written them a blank check to do whatever it is that you need to do from a historic preservation standpoint, because you are historic preservation professionals and we understand your training. And so the SHPO office, both for Montana as well as Idaho, has given this person crew a blank check to do whatever they need to do within reason of their trade. Unfortunately, that crew doesn't have availability to come out here this summer. They're actually booked up for quite a number of years, and years with a Y. So in terms of getting work done in the near future, I think we'll need to explore a non-Forest Service preservation option. And if that's going in volunteerism or a contractor or whatever, we will have to work with the State Historic Preservation Office directly to get permissions to do things. So the Historic Preservation Office at Boise, they get to say thumbs up, thumbs down, or give us more information type thing until we can get to a thumbs up from the SHPO. Our new heritage person who starts on Monday, their job, amongst others, is to be that conduit to speak to SHPO. And so they get to prepare the application. They prepare all the documentation and submit the ask to SHPO. And they talk historic preservation together. Keep that way. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Well, I got a question now,
Yeah.
like, this is kind of new, but, where are we gonna go to find the quickest way to the end result? Like the people you're talking about with SHPO and the state. Didn't we have an internal meeting with you guys and us and try to get things kind of in line to where we
Absolutely.
know which direction we're going and when we can do it?
Absolutely.
And
I'm
the sooner
playing-
the better.
Yep, I'm playing a little bit for time, knowing that Angela doesn't start until Monday, and then she's gonna need
Yeah.
a couple weeks to get her feet on the ground. I definitely want to take advantage of this field season and get her and you guys out there.
This to me is exciting, because
Yeah.
right now, you just provided a conduit. So we had a conduit in the works already with an engineer that could take these things into account, no charge. And we were told we'd have nothing to do with that afterwards. No avenue to go, no route to go after that was done. So during this discussion, if we're providing some parameters, or he has provided some parameters, he's willing to still do it. And
Yeah, so
I can follow parameters fairly easily.
Yep.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
No, I think having the group, having your engineer, if you're thinking in-house or, more of a volunteer labor force, so skilled and unskilled.
Yep.
Absolutely, that is part of the conversation, and that goes into the application by the Forest Service to the state to get the permissions of this is what we have, right? Because most of this document is explaining the history of the site and the significance of the structure, and a trained, bona fide preservation organization saying this is what needs to be done. And now we have an application for saying, this is how we get there, and this is what we're gonna do.
Great.
And that all goes to the state sits on it for 30 days, sends this back, a thumbs up. So yeah, and it is exciting.
That all
I
sounds
see this
good.
moving forward, for sure.
Okay, the one thing I didn't like to hear was the state sits on it for 30 days.
Sorry, that's a bit of tongue in cheek from me.
Okay.
I've worked with SHPO, here. I'm coming from South Idaho. I worked on the Sawtooth National Forest. I worked with SHPO a bit, when it came to some of our ski areas. I had old ski areas, and, they had buildings that were falling apart, and SHPO likes to, they have a caveat on, all course, official correspondence, they give themselves the 30-day window of time to generate their thoughts and concerns. It's a little sarcastic. I apologize.
Well, it's a good idea. I think the county might want to adopt some of that.
Mhm.
Stall for 30 days on everything.
I think maybe as government gets larger, it can embrace the, a more liberal, mindset when it comes to how long it can sit on something before it corresponds, the city, county, state, federal.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do to, get ourselves moved up the list that Angela might have of all these different archaeology things that she's gonna have to do?
Let's get ourselves a meeting scheduled about a month. I think that if she starts on Monday, let's give her about 3 to 4 weeks. And I got 3 to 4 weeks, like Monday morning, I'm like, hi, my name is,
Yeah,
we have a meeting in a month at Shoshone Park, and we're gonna give her the tour.
That'd be good.
Basically the dog and pony show. And
okay,
part of that is then also to, like, this is what we wanna do and be on her radar. And, my job is to be persistent with her and, poke
okay.
and be
So,
not annoying, but be
Yeah.
persistent.
greasy wheel
Mm-hmm.
or squeaky wheel. Okay, one of the things that is a little disappointing, and I thought I knew this was gonna happen though, is that, this is about the Shoshone Park Pavilions, which is plural, and the cabin. No mention of the bridge. Are we gonna have to go through the same process in terms of the bridge?
Don't know.
Okay,
I'm not well versed enough to know. I honestly got that this morning.
yeah,
So that is like hot off the presses. I haven't gone through it with a fine tooth comb, as you mentioned. I mean, I have old plans that show the bridge and,
oh, you do,
anyways, you do.
you got plans from the
It
bridge?
shows the location, not of the bridge, but anyways, sorry. I think I'm excited. I don't know.
Okay,
Let's
we don't know.
address that at a later.
Okay. Cause those two big items are some of our high priorities, because that makes the park much more usable. Having that bridge and having that, pavilion, so, that's why it's on our list to try to do there. Okay, the next one was the horseshoe pits. We're planning on completing that.
The frames are completely done, as of yesterday. All the wood structures and whatnot, and it's been all unscrewed. It's all pressure treated for some of the uprights and then all, then water sealed for the rest of it. The sand, I think we've purchased 15 or 20 bags. We're gonna go get a dump trailer. It just makes more sense. So as soon as that's able to drive without running anything, we have a small bobcat ready to put it in.
Okay, so the location of those, is that gonna be where they were?
They exist right now. We were just gonna go with that and replace that.
Okay, you're just replacing what exists, you're just upgrading
Yeah.
what exists, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on the pits? Okay, South Bench projects. I think in some place here, I think, it's down on the bottom there. It says remove and replace, okay, I'm looking down, 1, 2, 3, the fourth item in the green boxes, remove and replace the bridge. Oh, that's the bridge. We talked about that.
That's the bridge on the ditch though, so it's not a replacement.
Oh, those are those
Yeah,
little
those are the
bridges.
small bridges
That's
up
the
on the hill.
reconstruction of the handles and the handrails.
Yeah.
The main runners and also cross pieces are in great shape. They do need, sealed or something again. But the actual guardrails.
Okay, so that's something that, are we planning on doing that?
I'm hoping so. Yeah.
Okay.
Same with
that-
the upper,
Gonna be a problem. You walked the, so there's those little footbridges.
Mhm.
Uh,
Upstream of the cabin.
up on top, yeah.
Mhm.
Upgrading those or
just replacing the wood that
Replacing.
already exists on the handrail.
Yeah, no, public safety, if we're replacing in kind, there's, yeah, I'm totally fine with
no
that.
problem with that, and we will do it.
Okay,
Thanks him, Matt.
yeah, no, public safety, replacing in kind, there's no paperwork.
We're balancing right now, Jed. Remember, your predecessor was a little bit different on project doing versus how you are, so we're learning you too.
I try and find a way to say yes.
Okay.
Try and find it.
Okay, so that sounds good. Okay, park map. You sent us one time, sent us not too long ago, a map that you found, that was kind of folded.
I was probably supposed to bring those here.
Well, I was thinking at that point that we needed a little bit better copy. And, it said page 1 of 2, and there was only one page. And I don't know what the second page was, and I'm not sure if the second page told us what all the different lines meant and all that. They had the water lines. And is that the best copy you have? I mean, it wasn't a very legible.
No, well, it was a picture of me standing over it type deal.
Oh, okay.
No, I can definitely get you better. Is there anybody in the group that has AutoCAD? So if I got you files, you would appreciate that? Okay. Yeah, because I was talking to our district engineer and he was showing me various AutoCAD. I'm not sure what
the
the,
light, I still have the light version of GIS. Or few, I believe.
Does the county have AutoCAD? Mapping people downstairs?
well, AutoCAD is more of a drafting type
Oh,
thing. So when it comes to plans of structures, and then, yeah, in terms of the GIS, I will work on that. I'll work on that.
On the map?
Yeah.
Okay.
GIS layer. Gosh, no.
Anything with shape files, anything like that would be there.
And then Shell, you would be the person from the Pottsville 7 that would, can maybe, represent us on that? On the map and AutoCAD, whatever that is.
Cause I had plans, or I found plans for various kids, like the kitchen, the preservation work that we've done on the other
Yeah.
kitchen. It's like I have all of those plans, they're in the base AutoCAD, format, and I can quickly make those PDF, but if you're planning on doing something similar on the other structure, it might be nice to have more of a editable.
We could transition those right over to Ball. He has that program as well.
Okay, so those you would deal with Shell. Okay. And you've got everybody's email from that I sent you, so if you could send that stuff to him. I don't know that all of us need that. Would the county want something, wouldn't want that for any reason?
Not that I can think of.
Okay,
We would lose it.
okay, it's a big building. Okay, trail progress. One of the things, we have somewhat of an idea of the trail. Do you think that we should be working with, somebody like, Ian Cotter to, make sure we're, he's a trail guy, right?
This is.
Of course, he's probably real busy. probably when you only got one crew.
It's Ian and one other right now.
Oh.
And then, I've got 3 kids, like 20-year-olds coming on for 2 months in July and August. Not because I didn't want more, but that was like all I could get.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, in terms of trails, I would love to get Ian out and hear what your thoughts are, especially Ian, our new heritage person, you know, cause just
So
tying
maybe-
that all into the project.
So when we take the walk around in a month, maybe Ian should be along. So we
He's also
we
got-
should probably have an idea of where we want the trail actually to go, you know?
Yeah, he's also got 25 years experience.
Yeah.
Local boy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, he's from Mullen. He was in school in Mullen for a while anyway. Okay, so that would be part of the walk around. Okay, did you run across anything about name changes?
I have not.
Okay, because he was supposed to get that started.
My predecessor.
Yes. And
What name are you changing?
changing the name of Shoshone Park to Pottsville Park. Now, and I'm thinking there's gonna have to be a transition because of maps and everything, so there's probably gonna be both names for a while, you know, until eventually we go back to Pottsville Park. And I think the Forest Service, since it's your facility, has to go through the process of doing the name change.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So I guess whatever needs to be done to get that process started, if you could check into that and it's something we can help. I did some internet looking, you know, about changing names and there is a form and, you know, there's ways to do it. I think it takes a long time though. You know, it's gonna be a year or 2 or 3 before that'll happen. Okay, we talked about the walkabout. I'm gonna wait till you get a hold of us after you talk to Angela and we can schedule when to go out there. Would the county be interested in?
I would think so.
I would like to see it. I have not.
Okay,
It'd be easier to picture when you're talking about the benches and the bridges and
yep, exactly.
Probably be a Monday through Friday type deal,
Yeah.
business hours. Just while everybody but one person is in the room, is there a day of the week that doesn't work at all? Like Tuesday meetings are atrocious or.
Wednesdays for commissioners.
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, no good. And
Yep.
Mondays are rough. Monday's no good. So we got Tuesdays, Thursdays. Fridays are terrible on Forest Service, Fridays because
It's Friday.
it's Friday. So
So Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday and Thursday. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
If you can get us, you know, a week in advance or a couple weeks in advance.
Yes, notice we'll put ourselves out.
Yes,
as
absolutely.
soon as you can.
I'm thinking I should know. I should have a date next week.
Okay. And that'll probably be our next meeting then, when, you know, in terms of a meeting, we'll just do that.
Okay.
That sound okay? Okay, that gets us through that list on the top there, the phase 1 priorities. The basic thing that we did not get through is the walking trail, the walking biking trail last summer.
And the fire rings, we have not touched fire ring.
Oh, you haven't touched
We have
fire.
that on the number 1, with the AVA side of things and making those 36 inches tall. And yeah, we did not replace any fire rings. All the grills were done.
The grills are done, but not the fire rings. Okay. Do we have the capability of doing the fire rings?
With what we're talking about, we've run the money dry. So we need to figure out which ones are the priorities at this point.
I've got 2 of those pilot rock.
Okay,
Yep, the ADA. I've got 2 of them sitting in my yard.
we'll install.
Perfect.
So I think we had a quote somewhere from that company as well, and then we had both Bab Shops local. Quoted out that it was cheaper mainly because of the shipping, having done locally. But again, without the October fundraiser, we were going into it with $50,000 and it was gone. So,
That month,
yeah, they're expensive. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is.
so if we got two already,
Yeah, we'll get those done.
how many do we need?
I don't remember the numbers off the top. Maybe
Okay.
11 or 12, 13. There's a lot up there.
So we'll start with those two.
I'll look around and see if I've got a
You
fellow,
can-
fellow Forest Service manager who's, oh, these things are just taking up space in my own yard.
Okay,
Yeah, that's good.
okay, well, good. Okay, I guess now we're down to the bottom there, the phase two list of activities. Is there other things that we want to, accomplish? We've got a few more minutes. Remove dilapidated rec structure. That's the thing I was looking for, on the bench. I'm not sure what that's referring to. You probably wouldn't know. Do you have any idea?
The only thing I can think of would be the bridges over the little,
It's the bridges.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's not much else
Trail,
up there.
bridges on the trail.
There are some, is there any picnic tables that are really bad or?
Well,
So if you go down from the bench, but on that same southern
right,
side.
right on the
that
side of the
lower
creek,
one,
Down by the Rick Creek,
there's a few of those that are torn up.
that could be true.
so some tables and the bridges.
Books.
Are we gonna do that? Can we do that? Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do that. I think there's quite a bit of material up there. Still, in the garage for the tables and.
Yeah, as long as we're talking about, you know, replacing picnic tables and as long as that we're meeting Forest Service, accessibility standards, which are pretty boilerplate. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Should we wait till after that walk around to actually identify what we're gonna do there?
I'd suggest so, because we got a lot of stuff, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Replace posts, yards, fire hydrant, or yard hydrants and reattach as needed. That's part of post, yard, hydrants.
That was all the water system.
That's part of the water system, I guess. So that'll have to wait till after you get that figured out, right?
I'm just looking at some of this, Jim. I think we should go back to the table again with, Mr. Smith doing this. I think some of this can go away. As far, just off the cuff, we should probably talk about the next phase. There's a lot of stuff on here that, again, project-wise, it's not even on, it's tough to discuss without the main pavilion, the bridge, everything else going on financially. Still wondering about the Region One. I know Ian called myself about a month ago and talked that there was some funds within the Region One that might be designated for Pottsville. And, hoping we could figure something out with that this year. Sound like it was a match.
Yeah, there was a heritage grant
Yeah.
of some sort. You,
I'm excited how excited I am to have a heritage person in shop on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
yeah, because right now, the different grants that I'm aware of, you know, through the state and different places, there's no applications available until, I think, September, somewhere in that area. So there's nothing that we can access now. And we've been waiting for this, you know.
Establish your historic.
Yeah, so, and then
Yeah.
and basically what we need to do is try to, figure out, what is it we want to get money for, what project, and what, you know, we need a budget for those projects.
You know, I think the timing of that, so you're saying that grant applications open up in September for historic preservation monies?
Well, September is the first, there's a number of them. There's, you know, Idaho Historic Preservation They have one, I'm not sure the dates,
I'm just thinking out loud here. So, all right, it takes a little while to go to get our new heritage person up and going, couple months. We're still waiting on the official signed off version of the preservation assessment. So we get that, you need that for grant writing. We're also gonna want with this, we can go independently of the funding to go through SHPO. So the SHPO is one side of this. You need to get buy-off from Boise that, yes, you can do this, here's the plan. And then the other side of that is chasing the money. So those two things can happen at the same time. And while we're waiting for a funding stream for a grant application period to open up, we can be going after SHPO to get SHPO concurrence, thumbs up from Boise saying, yeah, you can do that. And then once you get that thumbs up, it's good. It doesn't have an expiration date, not unless some condition changes or the proposal changes. So once we get the thumbs up from Boise, that would probably help out your grant writing prospects. If you can say in the grant application that, oh yeah, and we have SHPO concurrence to go ahead and do this. So timing wise, it actually not bad.
there's, okay, the different ones that I have is Zenobia, which used to be Inland Northwest Community Foundation. And that is January 11th for for the following work season. So for April, the grants are announced in April. Then there's the Idaho Humanities Council. The only thing I think that would fit is probably the signs that would go, interpretive signs about the history of the park. So if we can do history there. Idaho Community Foundation is February 15th. Idaho Heritage Trust, that's the one. They have a lot of money and they specialize in buildings. That's September 30th. So that's the pavilion thing kind of thing. Trouble is, we won't be able to do a whole lot, until, in terms of, we don't have the money to do it, but, we can't get the money. The application is the 30th. When is the?
Must be close, must be four. Okay, so you have to have your application done, submitted by September 30th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's Idaho Parks and Rec, last Friday in January.
Yep.
Then there's Idaho Historic Society, that is October 1st is when you can apply, but it's not due till December 31st. And then there is, Idaho Commission on the Arts, and that is March 7th. So you can have that. That'll give you an idea. And there may be other grants that I'm not aware of too. Those are the ones that I think that might fit us.
That all sounds good.
Well, I guess I'm hearing that there is no use of going through the rest of these things until we actually have that walk around and figure out that whole thing. Okay, anybody have any other questions? All right. I guess I got one. This report, you're gonna send me a digital copy.
Yeah.
Is there any restrictions on distributing that? It says draft, so we know it's a draft.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Legal restrictions, I don't think so. As for, I guess, what's the end goal? Handing it out to the press, I don't know if that gets you much. I think keeping it internal, or relatively internal, amongst the working group.
So, commissioners, these guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that all seems reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess what's reasonable? What's unreasonable?
Yeah, but once it's not a draft, then isn't it
Oh, yeah.
public
document.
information?
Yeah,
at
and
that
it's
point?
still a public document. It's just, what, is it useful? To go far and wide, knowing that it's just a draft, there's nothing binding to it.
Mhm.
You can't use this for a grant application or a SHPO.
Right,
Concurrence.
and you're expecting that relatively shortly, right?
Yes. I was expecting they signed off one a month ago, so.
Okay. So once you send me that, or you could send it to that email address that we have everybody listed, and that would be okay. Okay. So you're probably a little bit hesitant about the newspaper though, at this point.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, that doesn't, I don't think that gets us anything.
Okay.
We think we have a plan.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But then once we meet with Angela and she's got a chance to go over it and we have the other thing, then that opens it up.
I'm gonna feel horrible if I butchered her name, if it's something else. I'm gonna.
Well, we all know who we're talking about. Maybe she has a different name, but.
Probably be calling her that.
My reception is not great at this.
Okay, does anybody do you have any questions?
Other than a desire to know Angela's real name.
Why we don't have any women on Pottsville Center?
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board or anybody else in the room with comments or? Nice to meet you.
Lovely to be here. I'm excited. I'm a history nerd, so, and especially CCC era history. I mean,
We got a lot of information on the CCC.
yeah, so this is fun. This is a real fun project. There's elements of my day job that are just like, okay, fine. This is gonna help, but this is fun.
And so we'll get an email with the approximate time and date to be up there.
Yeah, so I mean, if Tuesday, we guys do a monthly thing, powwow
Yeah,
on a Tuesday. I mean, do you have a standing date in late June that we can just kind of hijack?
no, we haven't had, okay, what's today, the 16th? 16th. We usually, in the past, we met on the second Tuesday. This is the third Tuesday, but it doesn't matter, it just, so if the third Tuesday works, tentatively, and that would be instead of this meeting, we would, just do that. And we just meet at the park. And, at such and such a time and.
Did we do the third Tuesday? 20th? Yeah. I'm just looking at our Forest Service side and trying to try
The date.
the 20th.
Oh, yeah. I just get nervous that we're losing construction time.
We're gonna have to get our group together again and really get going. We have the okay.
Yeah.
The agreement, the volunteer agreements are in place. We really need to.
Yeah, the big
Okay.
things, they're on hold until.
Until that.
So we'll meet.
Yeah.
Between them.
I think.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, and again, we don't have to come up with a date. I was just, if you guys don't have a standing date,
No, we don't.
hijack, there's no point in that. But yeah, that like third week of June, that would work.
Okay, go out there and pick up
Fourth
stuff.
week of June.
You in town that week? We don't have anything on the.
So we're
calendar.
tentatively looking at the third week of June and Tuesday, which is the 20th. That works for you guys at this point.
I see some stuff up there.
The 20th is okay with us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I make it
So
a.
we'll try to do that. And you think in a week you can nail that
Make
down.
that calendar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I would be shooting for like, well.
And we can
this
put that on the
timeframe,
agenda.
You know,
So all
11:30,
three of us can go.
Take Sydney with us.
11:30.
Yeah, she knows the field trip.
Works for you guys
What
Yeah.
was the time?
at this point? Okay, you can kind of pencil us in until he gets down to actually getting it figured out. So if that Tuesday doesn't work for whatever reason, maybe that Thursday works.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, Tuesday or Thursday, something like that. I would. And again, I should have that next week.
And you will use that email list for all of us, right? Okay.
Okay. Any further business?
I think we're done.
Appreciate your time and the updates.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us
Okay.
and,
Meeting, we'll just adjourn.